Let's talk some toys in here.
Hey, how's everybody doing today? It's the Man-Child. Okay, so today for review, finally going to go over my Masters of the Universe Origins Turtles of Grayskull Ram-Man figure, or Mutated Ram-Man figure. It's part of the Wave or Series 2 of the Turtles of Grayskull line. So he's another one as far as Series 2 that I was really looking forward to, finally taking a look at and reviewing him. Looks like a whole different design as far as the body and armor compared to the first Origins Ram-Man, which of course later on we'll bring compare and see what parts can swap out. But I love the newer colors with these mutated figures. At least what they did with He-Man so far in Ram-Man, where it's just translucent and you can see like kind of the acid going through the body, and that greenish energy effects and stuff like that. Looks like he has larger hands. Comes with the same exact weapons as the first Ram-Man figure came with, but beside that, yeah, awesome looking design. So, of course, this new Mutated Ram-Man comes on the same exact card as all Turtles of Grayskull figures with the exploding Turtles of Grayskull logo outward, the rocks, very similar to the first release Origins, but total redesign. We have Skeletor off to the left-hand side, the Origins-inspired Skeletor, I'm going to say, and of course Shredder off to the right, and then just call him Ram-Man, a mutated battering ram. And then dropping down, of course, the new Ram-Man comes with the Master Universe and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles cross sticker on the bottom of the card. And now, taking a quick look at the art on the back of Ram-Man's package. So, beautiful art as always with these Origins and, of course, the Turtles of Grayskull figures. So, yeah, we have our new mutated Ram-Man jumping out of the slime pit. Now, there's a slime pit again, teased for third, fourth time maybe, from what I've seen on the back of the cards with these Turtles of Grayskull figures in the comics. So, yeah, I could see slime pit maybe coming to the slime. Has a shredder head. You can see the blades on the sides. Even has a different hand now, I noticed, a claw instead of that bone claw. I'd love to see something like that, but at the same time, I hope it comes with additional parts to turn into a vintage-style slime pit, or they give you a second option down the road. Anyway, here we have Skeletor off the right-hand side. Well, excited that now they have a mutated Ram-Man because he's working with Shredder. Here's a new Krang off the left-hand side. He's going to be a box set. He should be coming out by this month, I would think. We have He-Man and Mossman tied up. Now, Mossman's also going to be another exclusive that was already teased, and it's going to be another mutated figure, also box set. And here's a little closer look at the new mutated Ram-Man's bio. You want to pause and read that. And then dropping down to the left-hand side, just says fit battle, charge, or axes into hands. So he doesn't come with any other action features aside those two weapons. And then moving over to the cross-sell, these are all 4 figures as part of this Series 2 wave. Alright, so I got Ram-Man out of package, and before we go over the figure, I just want to go over the comic real quick. Now, I already went over this twice in my Shredder and Raphael review, so, bear with me for you guys that might have seen it. So, the new comic's called Belly the Beast Man. You can see just all the layout of what's going on, fighting the figures, or Shredder. There's a Skeletor with the newer armor, so we can see a Skeletor like that coming in line. So I'm just going to flip through it real quick. Take a look at all the images. I already went through all of these. Like I said, my last 2 videos, okay, there's Mikey. He's coming in Series 3, I heard. Now, I'm hoping the hair is going to be removable. I don't know if I mentioned that in my last couple of the videos. A lot of us are. So he comes with He-Man here, because Mikey was sort of always a Joker as part of Turtles line. My hope is that they're going to use the plug in the back. That's part of the bandana, that little trails that can snap off, and maybe the hair is going to snap in that way. And then we can remove the hair off, and it'll come with a little bandana, the orange piece, to clip back in. That's what I'm hoping. But anyway, flip through it, right? Everything going on. Come over here, just see the battle going on. All the Mouse Jaw, Faker, Beastman, Merman. Right. Yeah, there's that Shredder. There's that slime pit again. I mentioned that in my last video. There's a mutated He-Man, Bebop and Rocksteady. I have no doubt they're coming to the line. Leatherneck as well. I heard rumors he's going to be part of Series 3. At first I heard exclusive, and I heard Series 3. We'll see. Alright, this. There's an all-out battle going on. There's the new mutated Mossman. Now, there's a merman here, too. In my last video, I noticed that he has a fishtail and mutated hands, so that will probably be the version of Merman coming to this line, which will be awesome. Alright, like this. There's a new metal bottle figure. So all the as far as all his parts, so there's a set of arms or parts that comes with Mousejaw. The other set is going to come with the new Krang, I believe the Krang figure coming out. Mossman will have the other set of parts, and then the Slaker figure. That's how you're going to build them. Now here's a quick look with the new Mutated Ram Man as accessories out of package. I gotta say, this figure looks awesome. And now bringing in Mutated Ram Man for a closer look. Check out that head sculpt. Yeah, I like that particular design for this Mutated Ram Man now. It's truly a ram head mixed with Ram Man, or mutated at a Ram Man. But yeah, really cool as far as the overall colors. Again, I love that translucent purplish tone that the rest of the body has. So they have, yeah, some sculpted teeth, a little bit of a battle grin, I always call it, going there. I like that with a lot of figures. Red eyes recessed in there, painted. Little goatee going. That is all part of the sculpt, just painted black. That helmet, too, is really cool. Now, the helmet is definitely separate. It's not part of the sculpt. You can see that, but it's, I want to say it's, yeah, glued and pegged on, it looks like. It's pretty soft, the pieces here. It's also molded in a really shiny silver color, not like that cheap plastic gray color. So I like that. A lot of the newer Origins figures are doing that, weapons and accessories and stuff. Check out those ram horns. Yeah, awesome as far as the sculpting and detail. Now, they're also separate from the helmet. They look like they're pegged and glued in as well. So as far as the articulation with this head on the body, so you can look all the way, well, if you lift the head up, let me see. So the goatee hits the armor, it gets hindered like that. Okay, there you go. So if you lift the head up a little bit, go all the way to the left, the right. You can only go down about that far, because again, it gets just hindered by this goatee piece and back. Yeah, awesome head sculpt though. Now, while we're at it, let's see. I'm going to pop the head off the body for a second. And here's a little closer look at that head off the body, so we can see where the peg socket is. I'm just trying to take a better look at this helmet again. So yeah, it looks like it can come off. I don't know what the head is underneath there, if it's a full head or what, but yeah, it's definitely glued and pegged. It's not meant to come off. And yes, same thing with the ram horns are recessed and glued into the overall head and helmet. So putting the head back on, moving down to his armor, chest and buck area. Look at that armor. That's really cool for Ram Man, or Mutated Ram Man. So yeah, it's a whole new design from the first release Origins Ram Man, and even the Raphael figure that had Ram Man armor. Of course, I'll bring those two in, compare them a little while, and we'll see what parts can mix and match. But that is an awesome design. Let's see, so there's the front, here's the back. Now, check out the overall. So is that plug? Okay, so it's plugged in. So you got two different things going on here. You have like the red overall, which is supposed to like simulate a leather piece. I always imagine Ram Man having some type of like Roman style armor. Kind of reminds me of. So you can see, oh, check out it. The chain is a separate sculpt, and it comes off the body. I thought it was plugged and glued in. But look at the spikes, the overall, just the arm, you know, main shoulder armor piece. So I'm just trying to see something. So is this, yeah, it's definitely separate from this red piece. So I'm going to spin them around again. You can see that. So it's plugged into this red piece on the shoulders in the back. And to remove this armor, I'm just going to pop this buckle here. And then spinning around to the left side, I'm going to just pop the other side part. And then once the two buckles are apart, looks like we got to remove the head again. And then this whole armor piece flips right over the body. And now here's a closer look, or even better look, with the armor off the body. So check that out. Yeah, really cool, as I already mentioned. Yeah, you can definitely see now. So it's kind of plugged and glued in on both sides. But if you wanted to remove and customize this, they definitely are two pieces as far as a steel piece and this leather simulated piece. Pretty flexible for the most part. And then, of course, you have this space on the back for weapons, which we'll try out later on. And now, once again, putting your head back on, of course, with the armor off at the moment. Here's a better look at the buck underneath without the armor. Yeah, a whole just unique design. Newer design for this Ram Man. You can just see the, you know, the ooze effects going through his body. So this, I want to say it is a translucent body, but it's like a really thick plastic. So I want to bring in a light for a minute. Just want to see how translucent the body is. Yeah, okay, so it's definitely a translucent plastic. It's just the dark color and how thick it is. All right, so before we go over the articulation, the arms and waist, I just wanted to focus on this lower armor, this Roman style skirt or kilt kind of thing Ram Man has. I want to remove this too. So we can look at the overall figure, everything off. We'll put all the armor back on and we'll go over the articulation. But that's a pretty cool piece too. Check that out. So the big belt buckle has a ram sculpted outwards. Pretty neat. See the black belt all the way around. Now it's all part of, not two different things, all part of sculpt. You can see these individual battle skirt kind of thing pieces. Now they're sculpted like they're separate, but they're not. You can always make little cuts in here too if you wanted, with a razor knife to make it more realistic. But anyway, has all these steel spikes that are also part of sculpt, painted different, which is, yeah, they put a lot of work into this as far as detail. So Now we know we can spin at the waist, and the whole point of this is I want to pop them apart at the waist and remove this piece off the body, so it is removable. And now here's a closer look at that piece off the body. And now here's a quick look at Mutated Ram Man with all the armor pieces off the body. And this is pretty much what you get as far as his green pants. You can see the lower legs. Yeah, he has also these goat feet as well. And they spin here. So basically we get without the armor on. Alright, so putting all the armor back on Mutated Ram Man at the moment. I just want to go over the articulation now with the armor on, because I want to see how, especially the shoulder pieces, hinder the arms. So as far as the arm articulation, can only go down about that far. How's the other arm? Okay, that's about it. You can go up, gets hindered by the shoulder armor. You can go forward and back about that far. Can bend, let's see, the arms bend pretty well as far as the articulation in and out. So you're only going to go up at that far. Can spin at the elbow. Has these steel wrist bracers on both sides, are identical. Now these are all part of the skull, but painted silver to match the silver on the armor and the helmet. Comes with these really cool 3-fingered, super large hands that are on hinge joints. They can spin and go in and out, and they're both in a. So this one's like I call them semi-weapon gripping hands. Wow, these fingers are extremely hard. And okay, so this one, if you can see, is in more of an open position, right? So you can get a weapon easier in there. Maybe heat this up with a blow dryer to loosen up. Where this one's sort of like a punching fist, but has a hole through it to slide one of the axe ends in. So that's kind of what you get as far as the arms and the hands. And the other thing with the arms too is they come out really easy. Same thing with the left side. And there's a little closer look at the arms off the body. So let's go to the right arm. So now you can see the articulation better, right? The hand, the bracer, and the peg, and just how to have the details with that ooze effects going through the body. And the other thing, one of the arms off, I just wanted to remove the hand, just confirm it's a regular Origin style peg, and of course you can see the hinge joint and how it goes in and out. So putting the arms back on, moving back down to the waist. So we know he spins at the waist, comes apart easy at the waist. I already showed that, and how his battle kilt or skirt can come off. Now you can kind of push this armor down and this piece up to hide the gap, that purple color. It's going to be important later if you're trying to customize him to maybe a regular Ram Man, which we'll do in a little bit. So moving down, we already talked about how flexible this piece is, and of course they're solid. Taking a look at the legs now. The legs are pretty cool. So he has a Ram Man style spring legs. Now what's interesting with these is, yeah, they're fully articulated to where the, vintage inspired Ram Man isn't. But even then he can, so how far I can go out? All right, so with the skirt piece, that's as far as he's going to go out, as far as split, right? He can't kick, can't move forward. Okay, kick forward is about it. Back, how about this leg? That's about it with that. Back. All right, so moving on to the boots. So he has this ring style collars that would kind of reminiscent with the regular Ram Man boots, but then it has these translucent goat feet adapted to those. Now these can come off and you can change them out. We'll try it out with a pair of like black Origins boots. I'm assuming it's the same style peg. And as far as these translucent ram feet, so you can see sculpted fur, right? 2 toes, similar like a ram. They can spin back and forth, and then the foot can go up and down and rock side to side. Now the other thing is, I'm going to take this apart again. Let's get this lower skirt piece off for a moment. Put this back together. All right, so there's Ram Man with half of armor. The reason why I wanted to do that was to see if the articulation's any better with that off. Not much. That's as far as you're going to go out with them legs. Yep. Okay, as far as you're going to kick forward. So you can't really kick that far. How about like a kick sideways? It's about it. All right, so this does hinder the articulation a little bit, but not by much. It's it's all by design. Then putting this piece back on once again, I just want to look at the knee joints. I just realized that, yeah, so he does have knee joints in here. They can go, this leg can go like really far forward, right, back and forth, and you can, do they spin? So okay, it spins there as well. I already said it spins at that boot piece, and this leg is basically the same, but this one's really getting stuck on my finger. Can't go all the way forward. And now moving on to Mutated Ram Man's accessories. So he comes with the same 2 axes as the first release Origins Ram Man came with, but these are molded in a darker silver color. So of course we have the double-ended axe, which Grizzlor also came with, I think, as well. And then the single axe. And of course, if you're not familiar, you can plug these 2 together like this and then make this double-ended axe. And now set Mutated Ram Man up with his weapons. So once again, you can see this closed punching fist with the hole going through it is only meant to use this axe with that end. So you're just going to slide it in that hand like so. And then going back to that semi-open hand on the right side, so you can squeeze this axe right between the fingers. And again, these are really, you can't believe how hard these fingers are, but you have just enough room to force this axe in. And now just look at that setup. So now we have our mutant or mutated Ram Man all set up with his 2 weapons in hand, ready for battle. And then we can remove the axe from this hand and plug it once again back onto this lower piece, make it that double battle axe, but you can't really hold it like this, obviously, because we don't, this fingers are on the side is not open, so you'd have to hold it something like this, which kind of looks weird, but it's best you can hold it with the double ends set together. And then, of course, you can take both weapons out of hand, separate the two, and this right gripping hand can hold this other axe end like this if you want just to use this one. But again, you can't, this axe, because of this end, isn't going to fit in that hand, so you'd have to get a staff or some other type of weapon. It's going to fit that hole. You want to adapt them with something else, or cut this end off or something if you want to hold 2 axes backwards. And then spinning them around, going back to that weapon holder on the back of the armor. So yeah, you can definitely fit that axe in the back. Right, you can hang there like that, but you don't have a lot of room to fit both of them, or even this piece in, unless you force it. If you force it and heat this rubber piece up, it can, there you go, kind of going like that. So I got that side in. How about this one? Okay, so, you know, they can both go in like that, or you can heat this up more and stretch them both in. And now, moving on with some comparisons and mixing and matching of parts. So, of course, there's our new Turtles of Grayskull Mutated Ram Man against our first release Origins Ram Man. So, it's those two together. Yeah, wow, he really got mutated if that was supposed to be this Ram Man in a slime pit. So, what's interesting is, again, we have like a whole new Ram Man body. But, unfortunately, as far as mixing and matching parts, I think if we put the head on his figure, we're still going to see the purple here. So it would have been cool if this armor was able to hide that. And we know we can remove the arms, and I already showed, so we know what comes off this figure so far. As far as this Origins Ram Man, whether you're familiar or not, so the head can come off, the arms can come off, the hands come off, which that's not important now. But this one, the legs and feet can't come off. So this particular one had the action feature, very reminiscent of what the Vintage did. Aside, it's a spring lock effect, and when you hit it the second time, you know, snaps forward, to where the Vintage one had a button on the back of the boots. With this one, though, you can't, the legs can't spread apart. There's no articulation there, but he does have articulation knees that can bend all the way forward. You can spin. And the boots are part of the sculpt, so they don't come off, and you can't separate at the knees, that, as far as I can see. But as far as parts, let me see what I can do between this Ram Man to this figure first. Okay, so there's a look with that setup. I mean, in a sense, that's an awesome looking Ram Man so far, putting Origins Ram Man parts onto this mutated Ram Man. I like that body, armor, it's just completely different. Of course, he has more articulation, as we already went over. Now, the arms do fit in okay, but moving around, they do pop out easy. So you got to kind of mess around with them. They do have articulation. Right now, I'm holding it, because if I move it, see, it pops right out. Move it too far, see? Pops right out of the plug. So it's, yeah, not perfect, but it does work. Of course, he has the same style weapons, but in a flat gray. Now, of course, I put the head on. Now, I have the head with that extra guard piece. So I'm just going to leave that on, hides the face. I have my other head put away somewhere. But the main point of it is that the Origins Ram Man head with the helmet does work. And it looks cool, but you're very limited with the articulation. But again, on the other body, couldn't do much anyway. Now, even with this, you can still see some of the purple under light in there, but what you could do is put up some aluminum foil or a silver marker and paint the body if you got 2 of these, and it would kind of match the silver armor. You could paint it red, and you could fix that right up. And then moving down, we already said, you know, this piece too, when it's separated, you know, you see the purple in there. So just by adjusting this and pushing this up, it's not a problem. But then in the back, see, in the back you have that, it shows all purple. Again, you could paint this black, red. You can put something in there as fillers, right? As far as the neck and body, if you got a spare one, you want to convert him to a new Origins Ram Man, which, yeah, I'm really thinking about that. So, of course, we have the iconic spring legs, but then the problem, once again, is the boots, right? So we have these feet. Now, we know they spin and come off. So the next thing I'm going to do, the only thing I can really think of that might work with Origins styles pegs, bringing in black boots anyway, is these are Triclops boots. I already took it off Triclops. All right, so obviously I have the feet off. I just wanted to show, so just with the feet look like off the lower legs. Now, these do have regular Origin style pegs, but they have a second plug as well up here, if you can see that, right? That adapt into these particular feet. So going back to Triclops feet, which look, or He-Man regular boots, you know, that look really small compared to the iconic Ram Man feet. I'm just going to pop these on. And now there's a look with that setup. So yeah, we have a whole new Origins Ram Man, which is, yeah, really cool. By using a mixture of the first Origins Ram Man parts and, of course, some He-Man boots, or in this case, the Origins Triclops boots, because they're black. Put whatever boots you want on. But I think it works. Doesn't look bad. We're just used to the large feet. Of course, they can spin, articulate, and foot goes up and down. And now here's another look with a different style boot. So this is the Trapjaw boots, which I think look even better because they're more mechanical. Even though they're smaller, you know, the black matches, it's a little off from this, but I think that's a better look. So this was the Origins Trapjaw. See, I removed the feet from them. And that could work really cool too on this Ram Man, that setup. And one last thing I want to do with this Ram Man is I tried that new Masterverse Ram Man head on this body, because usually the ball pegs are the same, and that head looks really cool on here. But again, because it doesn't have that lower armor piece like this Origins Ram Man, which kind of helps hide this purplish color under there, which again you can paint or add some silver in there or something to hide it. Yeah, it does work and articulates well. I just put the regular feet back on for now. We kind of know what it looks like with black boots. Yeah, I wish he had bigger feet. It would have been cool if he came with a pair of regular boots to snap on and place at with these. But I guess that figure wasn't intended for that with the arms and stuff. But anyway, you want to see what that looks like and that Masterverse head works. It does pretty well on this body. And real quick, I also want to bring that new Masterverse Ram Man in comparison with this new Ram Man, more or less focusing on the body. Now, of course, I have the Origins parts on. I just left the regular goat feet on for the second. But you want to see those two together, and this is the head. He also had an alternative head as well, but I'm just using one with the closing armor at the moment. And we already see what it looks like on that body. Now, you can't really do much with this Origins Ram Man as far as, you can't put the arms on from the mutated Ram Man. You can put the head on, but I don't see what the point of that is without changing the arms out, where these arms don't come out. His main armor was all part of the buck. Now this blue piece does come off. It's separate. I don't know if that's important on his figure, but I don't know. Let me take it off and try it on this body, see if that works. And for fun, here's a quick look at that Masterverse extra armor that can come off that Masterverse Ram Man on this newer mutated Ram Man body, and that looks really good. And now setting Mutant Ram Man back up in its complete mutant form. So of course we left the feet on. We have the two arms and head on with that extra Masterverse Ram Man armor on. Yeah, it looks really cool for that figure, but it does... Okay, there we go. You can actually move the head over with the goatee. Alright, so moving forward, sticking to the Origins theme. So here's our mutated Ram Man parts, at least the arm and the head on the first release Origins Ram Man body. And that's a really easy setup to do. And it looks cool. So if you just like that nostalgic or iconic look with the Ram Man first release one in the Origins with the action effect, feet, the boots, all that good stuff. But again, he's very limited articulation as far as the legs. And you want to put these parts on, it looks awesome. And the arms have full articulation, look good. Okay, and so does the head. And you don't have to hide anything as far as like purple body. There's a little tan under here, but you don't even see it. But that's a cool setup too, and it works really well. And then as far as Ram Man armor or accessory comparisons, so of course, once again, we have our mutated Ram Man all done back up, the arms, the head, the armor, feet, all good stuff. And this is the Raphael, it's also part of the Wave or Series 2, which Ram Man is also part of, obviously. I reviewed him last. Now in the bio, it said that Ram Man gave him some spare armor, and that's what he has on. Of course, it's totally different from this, but I'm just curious if I can swap these two armors around. Now, Raphael had his own unique helmet, which is cool, but this helmet is removable. However, it's designed specifically for the Turtles head. It would be cool if this helmet was removable. Maybe it is with customization, but for the most part, it's not. So we can't switch those armors around, the head gear around. But let me see if I can try these two armor pieces on the different bodies. Okay, now there's a look with the mutated Ram Man's armor on Raphael. It fits really good. I didn't think it would, because it is a little loose around, Raphael's butt, because it's smaller, obviously, than the Ram Man, but that can work. Looks awesome. And, of course, you want to take the helmet off and have him regular Ninja Turtle without the helmet on with the armored. And now here's a look with Raphael's spare Ram Man armor on Ram Man, who apparently gave it to him back to the bio. And again, it fits perfect on this body. It's really deceiving because this is a larger body in different aesthetics from the Turtle or Raphael body. Check that out. Even has a shell on the back. You want to use, the shell comes off like this, right? There's the armor without the shell. Awesome. And once again, set Mutated Ram Man back up with all his parts and accessories. And for one last comparison, so of course we wanted to bring our Mutated He-Man against our Mutated Ram Man, because these are two mutant figures in this Turtles of Grayskull line. So you want to check out those two together. I think what's really cool too is that the colors they're both translucent plastics, but they're different shades. It's not like, at first I thought in package or in images, he was going to have the same tones or color as the He-Man or vice versa, but no, they're totally different. I like that. So he has a purple color, he has a bluish color, and I know Moss Man will be coming out soon. And he's green, so it's neat. You're getting those different variations instead of the same old plastics. Okay, so that's my overall review on the new Master Universe Origins Turtles of Grayskull Mutant Ram Man figure. I think it came out really awesome for this series, especially as part of Wave 2. Actually, all these figures did. Shredder's really neat. Raphael came out awesome with removable headgear, the Ram Man armored. And all I have left is Beast Man. I'll try to review him as soon as I can. But there's a lot of custom options with him if you want to get into some of them. I like that the armor is removable. Not only the top piece, of course the lower armor, but this armor is a lot larger for his waist. That's why I didn't try it on Raphael or any other figure. It's just not going to work. And of course we can't try it on any other Origins Ram Man because he's just so limited as far as part swapping. But it's cool that just the overall design on the head. I wish the helmet came off, but it doesn't. Maybe with some customization does. Aside that, it's doing what it has to do with the ram face anyway. The larger arms are really neat. The fingers are okay. I kind of wish this side was open like this one. I don't know why they had to make it to where only this weapon would fit in it. Could have just made two identical fingers. But aside that, it's kind of what you get. And, yeah, these lower ram feet are a neat idea, but I wish you would have came with an extra set of boots, or we had another figure with regular Ram Man boots that we can adapt to this, and all we have is just regular He-Man boots, or the Trap Joe boots, or Horde boots, which work, and they look okay, but I'd rather the larger ones. It's just me. And then the only thing you have to do is if you try to convert him to a regular Ram Man, which I think is a better Ram Man than the first Origins Ram Man, is just hide the translucent body parts like I show you, the neck and down this waist part, which is easy, and of course you have to convert the feet. Side that, yeah, you have a lot of cool customizations options, and if you didn't want that, just have him as a mutated style Ram Man with the new aesthetics. He looks incredible. I couldn't be happier. So I appreciate everybody watching. Until next time, take care.